it's Ginny. It's time to wrap up the reading in November. So I read a total of, or rather finished a total of 4 books. Sorry, 3 books. First out was I finished Agathe by Marlene van Niekerk. Sorry, don't know how to pronounce the name. I had read 164 pages or 170 or something like that in October of this. It's 713, I think. I finished this with 1 week left in November. It's about Camilla de Vet. She's 70 years old and she's paralyzed because she's got ALS, and she can only move her eyes and blink and stuff like that. That is one of the perspectives that you get to read about, but the story in this book is about Agathe, her coloured nurse or homemaid or almost daughter, who's been living with her for almost the entire life of Agathe. Agathe has been living there almost her entire life. This takes place in South Africa. I should have said that before I started. And you know the controversy between the apartheid, that is, the problems between the white and the coloured. So yeah, one of the perspectives is the 70-year-old Camilla de Vet. She's called Milla in the book. She lies in bed and can't move. She can only blink and move her eyes because of the ALS. So that's the first perspective. Then we get to read about her, what's it called? Diary notes from sort of something between at the beginning of the 50s up until the 80s somewhere. We get to read those notes sporadically because Agathe reads them to her in bed, lying there in her sick bed. Then there's this perspective of the thoughts, the scrambled thoughts of Milla when she could still write or move her hand and make some sort of text or writing. I think she lost her voice and ability to speak long before she stopped writing. That's the 3 perspective. The 4th perspective is the story told in present, but it's the story told sort of around or in between the diary notes at that time. So yeah, this is a very sort of, it's hard to read this book because every word is so filled with meaning. So it takes time to read it, and it's a beautiful story. And the characters, at one point you love them, at one point you hate them, at one point you hate one and love the other, and you sort of go through all the emotions and stuff like that. It's a very good book. I really recommend it, but bear in mind that it is very hard to read. I read this in Swedish, in the Swedish translation, and as I said, okay, I was in a sort of reading slump, but it took me almost a month. It took me a month or even more to read it. But it is really, really good. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, so I recommend it. Then I picked up, oh crap, this book, it's the Swedish translation of a Austrian writer. This book is originally in German. The author is called his name is Gabriel Barilli. The original title of this book is Butterbrott. In Swedish, or rather my translation of the Swedish title is Tramezzini, or A Day in Venice. Sorry about the lighting, because it's dark outside almost. It's sort of 3:30 in the afternoon, and here in Sweden it's bad lighting, so I've used some lamps, so there's shadows everywhere. I hope you can cope with that. So yeah, this Tramezzini, or A Day in Venice. I read the first chapter and a couple of pages more. I didn't finish this book. It is a book that I will never finish. I marked it as that on Goodreads because this is a story apparently about an architect called Martin. He's 33, and in the first chapter he sort of gives us a view of the view he has of women. Either women are looking for one-night stands or someone to breed with, to get children. And I really got pissed by that. I know this book is, you have to bear in mind that this book is written in 1989, but still, I really got frustrated by reading this, so that's why I didn't finish it. I'm not a super feminist or something or anything like that, but the character's view of women was awful. So yeah, no stars for this one. And then I picked up a middle grade book. It's a Swedish book, don't exist in English as far as I know. It's The Return of the Gods by Patrik Bergström. It's the fifth part and last part in the series called The Magic of the Eternal Fire, or something like that if I translate it. The author has been extremely inspired by Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. There's dragon, elves, and stuff like that, and there are differences, of course, but you can see the inspiration very clearly in this. Yeah, I don't think I should mention too much about it. I gave it 4 stars because I really love this series. I've read all the books now, so yay, I finished this series. Then I picked up Dork Diaries, Tales from a Not So Popular Party Girl. It's the second book about Nikki Maxwell, that is. This is Swedish translation. It's by Rachel Renee Russell. Yeah, it's the second book in the Dork Diaries series. It takes place during October, and it focuses on the planning of the Halloween party for the school. Nikki is supposed to be in the cleaning group for that party, but all of a sudden she becomes the chairman of the committee that is supposed to arrange the whole Halloween party for the school. And yeah, she tries to juggle 4 parties in total. No, it's 2 parties, but at the same day, and there's a boy that she's interested in, and he asks her out to the Halloween party, but at the same time she's supposed to be hosting or participate in a children's party because she gets paid for that, and at the same time she's supposed to be with her 2 best friends at the school's Halloween party, so she's trying to juggle all three parts. And yeah, it's a bit childish, and it's a rather predictable as to what is going to happen and how it's going to evolve and sort of get a solution to all the problems. But it's a fun and easy read, seeing that there's pictures in it as well as very little texts. I like it. It's a okay sort of intermediate book to throw in now and then if you want a break from the ones you regularly read. I gave it 3 stars, but it's a very weak 3rd star. But I I will read the 3rd part in this series, at least. Then we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that was my incredibly small read for November. It was these 4 books. This one wasn't even finished. So yeah. Tell me about your reads. What did you read in November? What was the best book you read? Mine was this one, actually. I would say this one. And the worst read was this one, seeing that I didn't even finish it. So Agathe was a really good read. I must say. It was an interesting read as well. Yeah, I think that's all. Hope to be seeing you soon in another video. Happy reading, people. Bye!